Hi, Todd Dunn here today on July 30th, 2019. Today I'm getting ready to tint some paint. So I'm getting my necessary things out, some gloves. I'm going to go get the paint and a can to put the mixed result into, and also a 1 quart plastic container to do the actual mixing in. And the point of mixing this paint is that the green paint that I bought to paint the non-skid on Tortuga's foredeck for the area that I repaired is much too dark. So what I'm going to do is tint that paint by mixing that paint, which is Petit Easy Epoxy with white Petit Easy Epoxy, and that should give me a lighter color to work with. So let's get going. So here's everything I'm going to need. From the left here I've got the Easy Epoxy Seafoam Green. That's going to be my color. I've got some Easy Epoxy Semi-Gloss White, which is going to be what I'm going to mix with the green to lighten it up. I've got a 1 quart plastic container to mix it in, and I've got a 1 quart metal can, that's a brand new can, to put the mixed result in. I've also got a screwdriver for opening the paint and a stir stick to mix it up with. On top of the can of Seafoam Green, I've got a little scoop for taking out a measured amount of paint, and I've got an identical one on top of the white paint. So the plan is to initially start with a 1-to-1 ratio, mix that up, and see what it looks like. Okay, the first step was to shake up both cans of paint. I shook each can for a little over a minute, rotating it periodically, and they should be pretty well mixed now. So now I'm going to open the cans and start putting the paint into the plastic container. I'm going to start out with 1 scoop of each to see what a 1-to-1 mixture looks like. Okay, this is a little hard to do one-handed, but I'm going to start off with a scoop of green right there, pretty nearly full, and we'll just put that into the plastic container. Get it in between drips like that, let it run in there. And that's pretty much got it all out. Now I'm going to set this aside on the lid, and we'll take a scoop of white. Now I cleaned both of these little scoops before we started. So this will be a 1-to-1 mix. And we'll see how much it lightens it up. Put that there. And I'll take my stir stick and stir it up. Well, you can see the two colors side by side there. It did lighten it up, but not that much. So I'm going to go with a second scoop of white and go to a 2-to-1 mix. Get that off there. There we go. Well, not quite full. Here we go, full one. Let it drain down so it's no longer dripping. And here we go. 2-to-1. And we'll just stir that in. I'm going to set the camera down so I can stir this a little more. Here we are looking into the 2 cans of paint, and you can see it's lightened up quite a bit, but I still think that's too dark. So I'm going to go 3-to-1 and see what that looks like. Okay, now I've got it 3-to-1, and you can see it's much lighter. And I took a little dab of each color and put them on the wood there. And I think I'm getting close. I think if I go to 4-to-1, I'm going to be just about right. So I'm going to try that and see how it looks. And if that's too light, I can always backtrack a little bit. So let's mix it to 4:1. Here we go, 4 parts white, 1 part green. You can see that the mixed paint is much lighter, and when you look at my little color dabs down here, this is the green, this is 3 white to 1 green, and this is 4:1. So I think that's pretty good. I might go to 3.5 to 1, which would be 7:2. So I think I'm going to try that and see how it looks. Well, actually, I've decided to go with the 4:1 ratio. So what I'm going to do is mix up my quart here at 4:1. I'm going to mix up my quart container, which has got 800 milliliters. So at 4:1, that'll be 160 milliliters of green and 640 milliliters of white. Or if you will, my container stops at 28 ounces. So 1/5 of that is 5.6 ounces, and the balance would be white. So anyway, let's see what we can do to mix this up to 4:1 ratio. Okay, I finished mixing. I decided to go to a 3.5 to 1 ratio, so I adjusted it. Okay, here are the 2 paint dabs I made. The one on the left is undiluted seafoam green, and the one on the right is 1 part seafoam green to 3.5 parts of semi-gloss white. I think that's a good compromise. It's a little bit green, so it's not going to be so blinding to look at as white would, but it should be okay. It's not so dark that it's going to cause the cabin house to heat up. So basically, that's how I blend paint, and there's the result. And all I need to do now is transfer this paint into my can, and I'll be ready to take it over and paint, which I'm going to do in a couple of days. We're supposed to have a little rain tomorrow night, so I'm going to go over and scrub the deck off thoroughly, and then mask it, and then go over early in the morning about 6:30 or 7 when it's calm and still relatively cool, and roll a coat of this paint on the entire foredeck. And I don't think I'll film that. It'd be pretty boring to watch me rolling paint on, but I will show you the result. Anyway, that's how I blend paint. The only trick is to make sure you use the same brand of paint for both colors so that you don't run into any incompatibilities. So that is ready to transfer into the can. So thanks for watching, and let's hope that this color works out well.